Hello, I'm here with Melissa from Tipsy Scoop Ice Cream. Tipsy Scoop started only in 2013, but already has a massive social media following. Let's pop in and take a look at just how they are making this specialty ice cream and have a raving fan base in just a few short years. I'm James Webster, and this is Owners and Operators. Melissa, thank you so much. Thanks for having us here. Tipsy Scoop started in 2014. Can you give us, that 2-minute or 30-second commercial on the original vision, where it started?
So ice cream making runs in my family. From back in the 1800s, they brought over gelato from Italy to Scotland. So at that time, gelato was a very novel concept. Nobody had really heard of it in Italy or in Scotland at that time. So I really wanted to continue the ice cream making tradition. So always kind of played around with homemade ice cream. So I started experimenting with just a tablespoon of alcohol just to soften my homemade ice cream because I thought it was too icy. And then just kind of fell in love with, I think one of the first flavors was vanilla bean bourbon, very simple. But you could kind of taste the bourbon coming through. Just like a little tablespoon is helpful to just soften it. And then I was like, well, what if we add more? So just kind of played around with that ratio of the milk, cream, sugar, and the alcohol.
That's really cool. Something that really hit me immediately was I thought liquor doesn't freeze. So how does that work into all of this?
Yeah, so that was kind of the hard part, coming up with that ratio of like the milk, cream, sugar. We originally used eggs as well, which we don't use anymore, just based on allergens and stuff like that, to get the alcohol to hold or churn into the ice cream mix without separating. So you'll see a lot of like boozy milkshakes or kind of even boozier ice creams than 5%, which are what Tipsy Scoop are, on menus, and they're kind of like separated. Like the alcohol isn't really in with the ice cream.
Maybe like a floater.
Yeah, exactly. We actually have a cookbook now, so we've kind of revealed our recipes to the world. A lot of people are doing boozy ice creams, but that 5% is kind of that sweet spot where it's still churned into the ice cream mix. And is that like creamy ice cream consistency that we know and love, but also like packs a bit of a punch.
And then you started selling it, or how did that evolve?
Yeah, so I started doing catering. So just had a few ice cream push cards. My background is in marketing for wine and spirits. So I had a lot of clients that wanted to infuse different foods with alcohol.
Sure.
So it was a really natural fit. Did a lot of friends' weddings. Catering is still a huge part of our business, but it was a great way to get started with really no overhead.
As we've mentioned and we've talked about before, Owners and Operators is about getting behind the scenes to see what our business is doing behind the scenes. Everyone goes to a restaurant and sees what it's like in the dining room, but they don't know how it goes in the back kitchen. So we try to get behind the scenes to show other business owners what it's like, and really anybody to show what it's like. Can you talk to us and walk us through a little bit about what it takes to make the ice cream, and where do you guys produce it?
So the process of making the ice cream has changed a lot. So we now make all of our ice cream with a co-packer up in Red Hook, New York. So it's a dairy farm up there. The cows are right there. The milk cream is made right there. So we visit there pretty often to just kind of check on production. But now that our pints are available at grocery stores, through shipping, kind of nationwide, we have to sort of outsource to keep up with production.
How often are you traveling there to check on quality control?
Yeah, so we have a production manager who's there pretty often. We also do things like popsicles now, which are done at a different location. Have a few different frozen treats going on. So how the process works is we do have an ice cream maker in Brooklyn where we kind of test flavors on a smaller scale and then kind of send them over to the plant to make them a little bit bigger.
And how often is the plant making your ice cream?
Really, like probably weekly at this point, just to keep up with production. Wow. We're kind of in a spot where we're like a medium-sized producer, since we're kind of, just having our traditional ice cream shops, which is easy to keep up with demand and figure out inventory for, but trying to get into the wholesale game now kind of puts us in a different category where we have to have supply on hand all the time.
That makes sense. All right, so I know you have your wholesale, brick and mortar, and the shipping business, your direct sending to your clients, or catering. Any other revenue streams? I believe you mentioned a fourth revenue stream.
Yeah, so we're at City Field. So that's something that we had set up in 2020 that just started for us in 2021. So it's great to be set up there. We have a custom flavor there that's a blue and orange kind of spiked cotton candy flavor, which is great. And then we do a lot of pop-ups in different markets. So we're in Nashville at the Bobby Hotel. They have a cart there. In Arizona at the Biltmore Hotel, at a hotel in Orlando, and then at the Lowe's in Boston. So the carts are kind of just shipped all over the country, and then our distributors in the different areas handle refilling the deliveries of the ice cream.
Wow, that's really impressive.
Yeah.
You've built some business here. Talk to us about what goes into new flavors. How do you come up with them? Who comes up with them?
Yeah, so we have so many different flavors now. So we have about 10 flavors that are year-round all the time that are available for wholesale. We have at least one flavor that's available monthly. And then we have weekly flavors at our stores only. So we just did
That's a lot of flavors.
It's a lot of flavors. It's a lot of flavors, but it's a great way to test the market. So the flavors that are available weekly at our store only come out on Tuesdays. They're done by the next Tuesday, no matter what. And we just kind of produce like as much as we think for that week. Once they run out, they run out.
Tipsy Scoop has seen some expedited growth since the beginning. How did you get such a large social media following?
Yeah, I mean, we really don't spend a lot or anything on traditional marketing. So we really try to keep up with all of that and, kind of see what the next thing is and be there first. Like when we opened our first store, it was all about Instagram. And now with this third store, it's all about TikTok. So just making sure we're creating content and putting it on the right platforms.
Makes sense. You're, again, that marketing background coming to work. What is your greatest challenge with running the business?
It's just really important to, this is kind of strange to say, but not plan things too far in advance and be able to kind of go with the flow. We've definitely seen that play out in the last few years.
Sure.
It's also something we like to do when we come up with new flavors. We don't like to come up with those in more than a month in advance, just because in case there's a crazy opportunity that we need to capitalize, we want to be able to be flexible and be able to do that and be relevant.
Makes sense.
It's definitely been challenging to kind of implement those things. I think our director of logistics will say that my marketing background is challenging because I'm always like, let's just do this. And he's like, we can't. So I think it's been challenging to kind of figure out like how to kind of maintain that like flexibility and kind of small business mentality of we can play around and do whatever we want, but try to scale that too.
What's next for Tipsy Scoop?
So we're definitely opening more stores. We actually have a program that's a ghost kitchen program. Right now. So what that means is we have different markets like Nashville, Florida, Texas, where we set up warehouses with a third-party company that facilitates delivery for us. So we're testing like local delivery in those markets before opening brick and mortar locations there. So it's a great way to kind of test the market there without kind of the sort of investment of opening a store. So definitely some of those have worked really well, and we're looking at 2 new locations outside of the New York area to open.
That's really impressive. I want to thank you and the team for allowing us in and behind the scenes to look at your business and what you guys are doing here. It's really impressive, and I wish you guys the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today at Tipsy Scoop. We hope you've enjoyed this episode and really look forward to bringing you inside more interesting businesses just like Tipsy Scoop. So be sure to follow us so you don't miss out. If you are interested in having owners and operators showcase your business, please comment below and we will be in touch. Have a great day.